you drinking cold cream milk. The little red silk is not the true friend. The blue one had two extra knots on the end. So I tag on the towers, now they take it to hell. But look where we reach, well. Here a madman born, as he spread out on the wall. He said, this is it, I've been hit. No time to give up, brother, no time to quit. The chant of a madman, with the steel from a strange land. The chant of the madman is the only salvation. I said the chant of a madman, in the steel from a strange land. Maybe the chant of the madman is the only salvation. Anyway, you turn somebody chanting the we. Vote for we and we go set you free. Somebody promising natural law. Fly like a yogi, end all the war. Seek inner peace, end all the pain. The same woman promising to go down again. Somebody promising to run all the bread. Somebody pushing a world-class pen. Somebody clean out the weed well fast. But somebody letting the cocaine pass. Somebody promised to abolish the tax. Somebody promised to bury the past. Somebody promised to clean up the land. But in this clean land, rats still killing man. We bright little youths going to waste. Somebody binge the smile on their face. Somebody take one love off the shelf. Then the one love boys got to sell out themselves. Somebody going to end all this talk about race, but they can't tell me that with a straight face. Come inside and share the video. Let them know we're here. It is time to have a conversation with the people who say they have no time for politics. Boss, I'm busy. I'm busy. I have no time for politics. And you know why you have no time for politics? You know why you have no time for politics? Because you're spending your time looking for water. You're spending your time calling Wassa. You're spending your time calling water truck. You're spending your time looking for a discount on water tank and water pump. You're spending your time sending your children down by the parlor to buy a bottle of water, to go by the neighbor and borrow a bucket so you can bathe. The time that you spending just looking to find water, you could spend that in politics. You see, the day 1.4 million Trinbagonians took their politics seriously, all those jackasses in the parliament, the cabinet, and the government would take their job seriously. But you don't take it seriously, so they can do what the hell they want. You don't have time for politics because you're spending hours in traffic, going to a job in Port of Spain. You coming from quite to freaking quite that the government don't have the common sense in 2019 yet to decentralize, to put things on the cloud, to digitize. We drive into Port of Spain so Gregory Aboud and a couple other real estate barons in Port of Spain could continue laughing all the way to the bank. That's why you come into Port of Spain and leaving Port of Spain 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, you and your family growing up and growing old in the car to come to Port of Spain. If you were taking your politics seriously, if you had time for politics, you would have voted a government in the office that would have fixed that a long time ago. Since Manning, before Pandey, we talking about decentralize and digitize before they even invent a freaking cloud. And we still doing that. Generations change hands on that highway, growing up in traffic. The time that you don't spend in politics, you're spending it in traffic. You don't have time for politics because you're stuck in everyday traffic. You in Maraval, you in Diego Martin, you in Cascade, you in Arima, you in Point Fortin, you in St. Augustine. Wherever you are in this country, every single hour of every single day is wasteful, mind-numbing traffic for no good reason. For no good reason, but for bad government, failure of government, traffic, that time you spending in that traffic, in roundabout traffic, intersection traffic, trying to get from here to there traffic, that time
If you had spent that time in politics, you'd have fixed that and you wouldn't be spending that time in traffic. Let me draw you an example. A fellow named Azar bought the Chief Justice House in Ellerslie Park, and to make himself feel taller, brighter and whiter than he is making it difficult for them to put a proper system in place that would turn Federation Park, Wainwright Street, Rapsy Street, Barbados Road and Upper Long Circular Road into a roundabout. We don't even need a backhoe. We don't even need to dig 1 inch of road to solve the traffic in and out of Maraval. You know that? Just Maraval, and that's just one example. Now I have solved the traffic for the people going home from Diego Martin. Prior to my getting involved in solving the traffic problem going home in Diego Martin, people from Diego Martin, Westmoreland, Carolina, Chagaramas and environs could tell you that they used to spend 2 and 3 hours in traffic, jam up from Movie Town, every side street in St. James and Woodbrook, getting road rage, trying to reach home, and we fix it like that. Like that. Maraval could fix too, and every other location of traffic. But you don't have time for politics. So the government that in office know that they could do what the hell they want. They could do what they want. If Rohan Sinanan didn't have a vested interest in selling K-Donor to the state, you think them building that Q-Rep interchange? That whole Q-Rep interchange is a means for the investors and financiers who bought K-Donor from Mirage to get back their money in spades. But you know that. But you don't have time for politics. So you have all the answers to all the questions. The time you don't have for politics, you spending it hours and days in a hospital waiting to begging to see a doctor that you are spending $5 billion a year on. You, it's coming out of your pocket. It is your money, your oil revenue, your gas revenue, your taxes, the fines that you pay, the consolidated fund, all of that is your money. And instead of that money being spent on developing the nation for you and your children going forward, it is being spent on a hospital system that is feeding greedy sons of bitches that are sending and selling to the government things they don't need at prices we can't afford, 5, 10, 15 times the price. Go and see all of these little healthcare centers that we build in. Go and see what the money, the $5 billion a year that your money, where it's spent. You don't have time for politics, but you're spending it sitting down in a failed health sector that could fix. If you voted a proper government into office, if you took the time that you have to spend in the hospital waiting, hoping, praying that somebody will deign to give you some attention, if you spent that time in politics, the country fix. You don't have time for politics, but you're spending it lining up in the airport or on the port, hoping to get on a boat or hoping to get on a plane. You can't get on the boat, you can't get on the plane, you're spending days, your family sleeping in the airport, lying down on the ground, selfies with their head on their backpack, sleeping on the port, trying to wait in, and they're saying, boy, they're cussing, who in charge of this, who in charge of that? You. And the reason it's not working is because of you. Because you have no time for politics, they have no time for you. And you see how it works? All the time that you should have spent in politics, you are now spending it waiting on a boat, waiting on a plane. You don't have time for politics, but you spending it in government office, line up for your birth certificate, for land deed, for completion certificate, for death certificate, for driver's license, for passport. You line up in every single office of state that fails, line after line after line. Lining up to pay your child support, lining up to collect your child support. You doing all of that in a country where nothing works, and all of that time that you spend in all of those government offices is more than enough time that you could have spent in politics and make the country work for you. But you don't have time for that, so they don't have time for you. You don't have time for politics, but you're spending hours in the bank every week, line up like a fool, in a banking sector that is so interbred, built on collusion, that there is no competition. So nobody has to do better. Nobody has to give a damn about you. Your money going to the bank. Your money going to the bank, and then they're charging you for the privilege. You have no interest to get, you have no benefits to get, you have fees coming out your ass. Why? Because you don't have no time for politics. So we don't have financial service regulations in this country. Bankers could do what they like. As long as the Banking Association of Trinidad and Tobago continue to send their contributions to the PNM and the UNC, you who don't have no time for politics will be spending that time in the bank. You see how that works? You see how it works? Now flip that whole script. Imagine if 1.4 million people in this country took their politics so seriously that they made sure that they had time for politics. All of a sudden, these stunting artists in office will understand the people serious and we have to serve them or we will lose. You see, if you made time for politics and you came and you joined us outside the parliament, just a day, any day, pick a day. It could be a Sunday, parliament could be closed, Rowley could be home putting on his toenail polish. He will find his ass down in the parliament if 100,000 of us show up there. Because he ain't going to send Gary with the water cannons. He's not going to send the Archbishop to bless us. They're going to come down there, all 41. You see, if 100,000 of us go to the parliament tomorrow and say, we who pay your salary summon you now. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen if the news is covering on all channels? There is an estimated 100,000 people outside the parliament. Traffic can't move. We can't go north, we can't go south, we can't go east, we can't go west. Helicopters overhead. CNN will be heading to Trinidad and Tobago, as will Fox and MSNBC, because 100,000 Trinbagonians are in the street. And imagine 100,000 of us outside the parliament and we say we summon you all now. Come. We want to have a conversation. This is how our country is going to work from today. You don't like it? Quit the job now. This is what we insist. Today, right now, today, Sunday, 6 o'clock in the evening, go inside there. This is the law. It's called recall. Pass that into law. No. You don't want to do it? Quit the job. We will move you. Imagine if you had that kind of time for your country. Because if you had that kind of time for your politics, Fitzgerald Hines and Rudal Munilal wouldn't be talking bullshit to you. They'll be listening to you and saying, yes, massa. Rudal, Fitzy, call me. Yes, massa. You in charge. You pay their salary. And they will understand that you understand, and they will understand that you have time for politics. So they will make time for you. See how it works? You see how it works? All of a sudden, the people in the parliament know, Terence Dialsing know, 10,000 people show up outside the Minister of Health. He immediately fire the CEO of the Northwest Regional Health Authority for Christopher Phillips, because we will never forget that poor black man dying on the grass. We will never forget that. 15,000 of us show up outside the DPP office, and all of a sudden we find out who killed Asami, who killed that little red girl in Iams, who killed Akil. All of a sudden the DPP start to work. 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 of us. You see, if we had time for our politics, our country would work. But we don't have time for the things that matter. We have time for bullshit. We have time to get drunk and to whine and to post shit on Facebook. And every time somebody raises an issue that could probably improve your life, you have to jump out yourself like a jackass. And instead of standing together with the people who are standing to you, standing for you, you stand with the abusers and you justify. And when you can't justify no more, you will say it's only God could save TNT. God will say, leave me out of all your bullshit. I give all you everything, all you need. No other country could say that they have what Trinidad and Tobago have. So don't look to call God now. They must say, the Arabs know it. The Arabs know it. Pray to Allah, but tie your camel. Yeah? Make time for the things that matter. Make time for politics. Make time so that the government know that they serve you. Make time. Tell me, Philip Edward Alexander show up outside the parliament, we come in 50,000 people, 150,000 people, the country shut down. Sabga calling, what going on? We ain't selling no beers in a week. 250,000 people say, no thank you, Sabga, we're on a break. Until our country working, we're spending not one single dollar. We're making time for ourselves and time for our families and time for our country. We have no time for bullshit. Imagine that country. Imagine that Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine it. Imagine if for a minute, black people and Indian people had no time for political racism and all the time in the world to stand together as one people under one flag. Imagine that Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine the Keith Rowley on Hema show tomorrow. No stunts. No stunts at all. Imagine the Kamala on Fazir apologizing. Yes, we did it. Yes, we did that. We failed. We apologize. Please give us another chance. Beg, get on your knees. Instead of stunt and bullshit the people, imagine that Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine it. And we don't just have to go outside the parliament. We could just speak with a united voice that the day for political bullshit, stunt artists, and wasting my time is over. That if I go in the passport office tomorrow And it takes me 3 hours. It takes every citizen 3 hours. And all of us together must say that is unacceptable. Imagine that country. Imagine that Trinidad and Tobago. For a minute. Imagine a country where the government and the opposition and every public office holder, imagine when somebody posts on Facebook that they got abused in a public office by a public official, that 10,000 people show up outside there. Imagine Massey stores, 500. Yeah, you see how small the number get? See how small the number get? 500 people outside Massey Westmall saying, don't shop here, price too high. Derek Winford, CEO, will show up. What's going on? Well, we know that these are the prices in America. And we know that y'all got call member to put a bullshit online tax. So if we can't shop in America and we can't get US and you can't match this price, nobody shopping here. Imagine that, Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine Derek Winford. Imagine Gervais Warner, the CEO of Massey, calling Winford to ask him what's going on in the freaking store. Why am I watching Massey on the news being dragged to the mud? Well, our price is too high. We'll drop the freaking prices or quit the job. Imagine that, Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine that. Imagine for a minute, we the people of Trinidad and Tobago, how we voted is exactly how we party. One united people. By the doubles box, by the shack and bake hut, down on the Avenue Lyman, in the church, outside the courthouse, same people. Same one away, you touch one away, you touch all away. All of a sudden the court start to work. Imagine a country where a mother stand up outside the court and say, listen, my child inside this jail 5 years now and can't get a hearing. Imagine 15,000 people show up outside there. We fire from the Chief Justice come down, every single one of them. Imagine that country. Imagine a Trinidad and Tobago that got all public office holders to stop the stunting and the bullshit and start to serve us in exchange for the salary. Imagine, don't say that on my wall, Devlin Collins, please. Do not say Trinidadians don't have belly for that. Take that off my thread. You are on the wrong place to say that. This is not a place for people to gaze in the navel and piss on the foot and tell me what has always been. This is a place where people dare to dream of a better Trinidad and Tobago. And I say to you tonight, imagine a Trinidad and Tobago where the Trinidadians who would go to America to live, who would go to England and Spain and France to live, who reach as far as Japan to live and Hong Kong. And when they protesting, Trinis outside they protesting too. So Trinis have belly and Trinis know how to protest. Something wrong here. They piss on we here, kobopi on we here and spoil we. It is time to shake the blight off. Imagine a Trinidad and Tobago where all of us believed that all of us had belly. Imagine that, Trinidad and Tobago. Tell them.
We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. 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 We're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. 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 Ready.
Let them know that when the call goes out for Trinidad and Tobago to stand up in its own defense, that mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, all are we coming out as one. Don't tell me who black and who Indian and who Syrian and who white and who Chinese. Save that, stick a pin in that. We come in as a united force for change. Imagine that country.
Look how the sun now raising up, and the crowd now waking up. The atmosphere have vibes, and nothing can break it up. The girl never wind up stop. We are the drinks them in a my cup. We gonna party all night, all night. 24 parties we hit in a row. Tonight at the very last show. Before we ever on the road, the girl never release the load. So let me see your hands up so. Everybody know, put your hands up so. If you're ready for the road, let your friend them know.
The same way red and yellow came together to make this orange jersey I wearing. Red and yellow formed a new bright color that says we could do this. Imagine if when the call goes out to Trinidad and Tobago, it is time to stand together to fix our country. The answer, instead of we jamming still and we like it so and Trinis don't have belly, instead of that bullshit, imagine if everybody answered.
We're ready for the road. Yeah, we're ready, we're ready, we're ready.
Tell yourself, a better Trinidad and Tobago is possible. We have everything that we need to diversify this country, to broaden. Somebody just asked me, under a Progressive Empowerment Party government, will people have jobs? Absolutely. Jobs is job one. The government's first job is to make sure that everybody who wants a job could get one, and everybody who has a job could own a home. That's the order of things. If you made sure that your people could take care of themselves, you could get out of their way. You don't need to help them and CPEP them and URP them and give them bullshit to fool them. You just make sure that they have hope and opportunity and get the hell out of their way.
The girl them a wait all week, forget on the road like free. The music full of applause, with thousands of chipping free. Everywhere you look is just food, and everybody in a real nice mood. We gonna party all night, all night. Everyone with painted body, clean credit and tainted body. Nobody want to dance by themselves, everybody wanna dance on somebody. Well, let me see your hands up so, everybody know put your hands up so. If you're ready for the road, let your friend them know.
And let the government know. Let them hear it from the tops of the mountains and from the bottoms of the valleys. Let them hear it from the beach, from the river, from the sea. Let them know that the people of Trinidad and Tobago are no longer going to be divided and ridden like donkeys. That when the time comes for us to stand up as one people under one flag.
We're ready for the road.
Trinidad and Tobago, you have to make time for politics. It is critical. Nothing works in this country. And the reason nothing works in this country is that those charged with making them work are not doing the job. I keep saying to you, outlaw blue lights. If members of the parliament, members of the cabinet, members of the government, members of the judiciary, all had to, the president and the prime minister, all had to sit in that traffic, I bet you in 1 week traffic solved. 1 week. If all of those people, the chief justice, if the prime minister, the president, every judge, every magistrate, every member of parliament by law, because you're drawing a public sector salary, if you or your loved one sick, public hospital in 1 week, all of them better than St. Clair and West Shore. I bet you that. I bet you that. I bet you if you removed all the tax-free breaks and all the bonuses that they get so that they work for a proper salary, and save me the bullshit about having to pay top dollar to attract the top people. Because if I look around at a country where nothing works, I don't think we have the top people. I don't think we've attracted a brain, that a group of brains that knew what it is we needed done to fix Trinidad and Tobago. Housing is impossible for most people. The price of a car is 10 times the price of the same car in a foreign country. 1 hour's worth of work in Trinidad and Tobago is 1/13th to 1/15th what it is in America. Our economy is in shambles. We have no idea how to run an education sector, a public sector, a health sector. We can't afford food. Our fertile farmland, and if you spit a seed on it, it grows a tree. That fertile farmland is growing razor grass and movie town and cineplex and bars and gas stations. That's the latest racket. Gas station strip malls. If you know people, you could put on one on fertile Caribbean land. If you don't have time for politics, then the politicians will not have time for you. And that is the critical issue that you need to address. Not your friends, not your neighbors. Came very close to just blocking a guy named Ishmael Ramjohn, but I realized he confused. I want him to hear my words. This has nothing to do with what anybody else is doing. I don't decide to wake up every single day and work my ass off for this country because of the actions of anybody else. I do it because I know it is the right thing to do, and that if more people do it, that we will end up with a better country for all of us, and then me and my family and my loved ones will benefit. And if I could get everybody else to see that, I don't need 1.4 million, I just need 140,000 people. I just need 140,000 people so turned on with the idea of a functional first world Trinidad and Tobago, that they will stand up. All I need is 5,000 people in Stanmore Avenue this Saturday. You know? 5,000 people stretched straight across the road, 10,000, we reach the Savannah. All of a sudden, the media have to come. The police want to come and direct traffic. They want to know what is going on. The commissioner show up. What's happening here? We're gathering, sir. It's the gathering of the coming storm. 1.4 million Trinidad and Tobago. This is seed. This is the mustard seed that will grow into the tree that will provide shade and protection for everybody else. This is where it starts. Join us. Come and be a part of this movement for a better Trinidad and Tobago, for me, you, and for your loved ones too. If you, for a minute, stop to think of this same country functional. Imagine this country where our gross domestic product, instead of being 22 billion a year, is 322 billion, just to match Singapore. We should be twice because we're twice the size. But let's just say we match it, because they don't have oil, and they don't have gas, and they don't have pitch, and they don't have Carnival, and they don't have a Tobago. Yet their GDP is 322 billion US dollars a year, and ours is 22. Not even 10%. Imagine a country with a government that understood that that was the goal. With a minister of finance who understood that's the goal. That has two ministers of finance, one to manage the local economy and the others to make sure that we're making money. Imagine a country where the minister of health understands 15 minutes is all the time you get to respond to a call or a crisis with an ambulance and get people to an emergency room and take care of them for the $5 billion we spent. And we'll fire you and fire your replacement and fire his or her replacement until we get the right man for the job. Imagine a minister of education who understood that Fatima College and Mokorapo Secondary should be the same level of education if it's getting the same funding and it's coming from the same school system and it's the same curriculum, the same teacher pool. Imagine that country. Imagine a Trinidad and Tobago where we understood our role in this democracy and our responsibility to our country, and we made time for our politics. Because politics is the service of we. The well-being of the citizenry is the function and purpose of government. They have no other reason to get a salary. There is no other reason to pay Keith Rowley. There is no other reason to pay Kamala. There is no other reason to pay Iva Archie. There is no other reason to pay Roger Gaspard. There is no other reason to pay Paula May Weeks. There is no other reason to pay any public office holder of any kind, save and except for the well-being of each and every citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The purpose of government is the happiness of the people. The purpose of government is the protection of the people. The purpose of government is the education of the people. The purpose of government is healthcare for the people. The purpose of government is no traffic. The purpose of government is water in the pipes. The purpose of government is no crime. The purpose of government is secure the borders. The purpose of government is affordable food. The purpose of government is every single thing that causes you dismay. That is the purpose of government. I'd like to take 1 minute for a friend of mine, a member of the Progressive Empowerment Party, who I learned took his own life in despair, Brandon Hassan Ali. And for you, Brandon, and for all the time that you took, you made your live videos, and you helped, and you did walkabouts, and you got involved, and you tried your best to see that you could be part of the change. For Brandon Hassan Ali, I'm going to take a minute of silence. And for all of the other people in this country, and I put this out on Facebook many times, if you are at your wit's end and you can't find an answer, message me. I am sure it takes a hell of a lot to bring somebody with as vibrant a personality as Brandon to choose to take his own life. The despair and the anxiety that it must have taken to bring him to that moment. And I'm sorry I couldn't help you. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. I'm sorry I couldn't provide the answer to you. Like, I apologize to every other murder victim in this country and all the people left to mourn. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. I'm doing my best. I hope to get to a place where we could unite the nation in common cause and all of us could get ourselves to a better place. That minute was for Brandon and every other Trinbagonian who out of frustration have taken their own lives. Rest in peace.
Well, this one is about uniting the nation. Why can't they all get around? Yeah, why we must have fight? Tonight we fight. Listen, Marshall, everybody. What you say?
But the system works and we need to start to pull together as people. And yes, I know that everybody very busy and everybody frustrated and everybody tired. But we have to look out for one another as well. And it is a sad situation. The level of anxiety in Trinidad and Tobago is very high. I am following people's posts on Facebook and I'm wondering if something else is not going on. The amount of depression, the amount of anxiety. Everybody's talking about the pressure that they're under right now. Life in Trinidad and Tobago is not good. People are not happy. They are making do. We are holding on. It is time to fix that. It is time to make Trinidad and Tobago a country where everybody could have the best quality of life. We're entitled to that like everybody else. Like everybody else. And that brings me to this Saturday at noon, this Saturday from 11. We have our third annual, it's 3 years already, our third annual pep barbecue. It is one of our principal fundraisers for the year because you know the Progressive Empowerment Party wants no dealings with the deep pocket financiers, the 1% and the contract mafia. We prefer to prove the point and make our money by dint of hard work and effort. And I'd like to say, Great job to Akil Camps and Sterling Leha, who took up the responsibility of the actual catering, and Felicia Holder and Sean Sunarine, Chairman and Deputy Chairman, and Debeli Jaikaran, Head of Events / membership, who have been working hard on pushing this, and all the members of the teams of all the hubs and all of the party members who have gotten involved to make this barbecue happen. We are 3-4 days away from it, and tonight we need to sell 200 tickets. And last night we sold the first 200 tickets. We sold out 200 tickets must be in 10 minutes. So if you didn't get a chance to buy any tickets now, as yet, you could buy it now from me. All you need to do is you could either message me, private message me, you could write it on the wall, you could WhatsApp me. Last night we sold one guy, Atash took 40, Bernard took 26. People took in bulk, because if you want to help, you don't have to actually just buy barbecue for you to eat. You could buy the barbecue and then donate it to the homeless. Every year at the barbecue, I go downtown, others go to Shaguanas, to the Kweze with food for the homeless that members and supporters buy. If an Akil sister, and if you can get involved and help, you could buy 1 ticket, you could buy 2 tickets. It's $50 a ticket. It is this Saturday. Buy a ticket, bring your family and come and eat. You don't have to buy 10, but you could buy 10 if you could afford it. You could buy 20. You could buy 20, you could buy 40. If you want to make a donation to the homeless, you could make a donation in the name of a loved one. You could send that. You could send that now. You could reach out to me. As I said, you could message me. You could private message me. You could write it on the wall. If you're interested in getting any tickets at all for you, your family, for your loved ones, to make us a donation. Yeah? So, barbecue tickets are $50 for one. And also, please, feel free to share the video now so others could know that we're on and that we're live. Monday night murder at Gasparillo Bar. The way they say that, Monday night murder, it's like a special. Come and get your Monday night murder in Gasparillo. This is the country we live in. No wonder depression and anxiety is high. Death, dismemberment, murder, violence, corruption. We have nothing of value. All we're hearing is our economy is collapsing. Things are failing. Everybody's complaining. Nobody's happy. Thank you, Diane Saldina, who just committed to taking 10 for the homeless. Diane, I hope you're going to link up with Anthony Sinanan and send that through the Toronto team. Anybody else who would like to get involved, please. We're here tonight, and every night I'm going to do a live video every night this week to help sell those tickets. So while those of you counting the change that you're collecting between the cushions in your couch to see if you can afford to buy the 20 or the 30, asking if they could use PayPal. Yes, you can use PayPal. Yes, you can directly to the bank, First Citizens Bank. Message Felicia Holder, Satish Ramsaran, Trini Mamu. I am the seed of my father. He is the seed of my grandfather. Who is the seed of my Macha? He came from Calcutta. Stick on a bag on his shoulder. He told Banami Capra. So I am one seed of India. to pay more attention to mental illness, says Dr. Ian Hippolyte, a psychiatrist at St. Anne's Hospital. It is considered a chronic non-communicable disease, just like diabetes and hypertension. He said the issue of mental illness being socially considered a disease is crucial in terms of how it slows down how people are able to function. Depression, in particular, is going to gain much more significance in years to come as a leading cause of people classified as having a disease. He said Trinidad and Tobago may see a loss in productivity and an increase in hospital costs if more attention is not given to treating and preventing depression and mental health on the whole. Reports by the World Health Organization on Trinidad and Tobago from 2017 says approximately 67,614 people suffer from depressive disorders, 5.2% of the population, which, if by any other estimation you could work with, you have to know that that is an underreporting. Administrator for the US-based non-profit depression support group Depression Sanctuary, Nancy Shimfening, warns it's estimated that 10 to 15% of the general population will experience clinical depression in their lifetime. In an article on verywellmind.com on September 28, she said the World Health Organization estimates 5% of men and 9% of women experience depressive disorders in any given year. She outlined 9 common causes of depression, which include genetics and biology, brain chemistry imbalance, female sex hormones, circadian rhythm disturbance, which results in seasonal bouts of depression, poor nutrition, physical health problems, prescription drug use and abuse, stressful life events, and grief or loss. Hippolyte said in Trinidad and Tobago, the biopsychosocial model is used in treating patients. He explained, we take into consideration all the biological, social, and psychological contributors to depression. We therefore try to treat them in a holistic manner. He said from a biological standpoint, medication is prescribed for physical methods of treatment from the host of antidepressants available, which he said have a high success rate. From a psychological angle, various forms of therapy are employed. Depending on the particular situation of the patient, the most appropriate form of therapy will be selected while making the necessary social interventions. Hippolyte said depression does not affect any specific age group, but there are some peak age groups, early adulthood from 20s to 30s, and more women suffer from depression than men at a ratio of 2 to 1. Last week, Police Corporal Ian Hamilton, 36, who was brought up in a home as a result of a neglectful mother, died by suicide after reportedly struggling with depression since his fiancée died last year and finding himself in financial debt. A story run by Ryan Hamilton Davis on September 28 said Hamilton had calculated his death, making peace with loved ones and playing with the police band one final time. For people who suffer from depression, Hippolyte said, suicide is really a final event. Personalities may play a role in whether someone commits suicide, but it's mostly based on the severity of the state of the depression, which would result in a deep sense of hopelessness rather than the personality type. He said some personality types may be more prone to attempt suicide and therefore more likely to complete it. There are people who suffer from borderline personality disorders who can be very erratic, and those who are psychopaths in terms of personalities who lack remorse. They may of course also complete suicide and or homicide. Psychopaths are the ones who occupy most of the spaces in our jails. Why don't we spot depression? Psychotherapist and public speaker based in Trinidad and Tobago, Bertrand Moses, said, depression often poses a challenge for family members and loved ones because it often can be misunderstood as an individual distancing his or herself from them. He said Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders 5th edition is the manual psychotherapists use to determine if depression may be a challenge for an individual. Moses said one criteria is that the individual may display this diminished interest or pleasure in all or almost all activities most of the day. This could be interpreted as a refusal to spend time with a loved one. As such, this may result in relationship ending or it may result in reciprocal distancing. Moses said another barrier to identifying depression in a loved one in Trinidad and Tobago may be the ever-present alcohol environment associated with our fete, party, and lime lifestyle. He said alcohol is often used as a mask to conceal emotions. This is of grave concern because the Pan American Health Organization, in a report on suicide mortality in the Americas in 2014, revealed that more than 90% of suicidal victims has a diagnosable chronic mental disorder such as depression, as well as substance use disorders. They often go hand in hand. To complicate this, PAHO also revealed that although it is a treatable disease, 6 out of every 10 people who have depression in Latin America and the Caribbean do not seek or receive treatment. Founder of You Are Not Alone, Ashley Alonso, she's a friend of mine. She's on this Facebook wall. You could find her. She has a group called Yana, You Are Not Alone, said it is important for the narrative and framing of mental health to be redefined. Yana is a Trinidad and Tobago-based online community of approximately 5,000 members created for people struggling with mental health. Alonso said mental illness is still stigmatized even though things are changing and the society is being more open to differences. She referred to Nishal Sankat, who was charged with attempting to steal a plane. Alonso said people make a joke of it and say it's so easy you're mad when you get in trouble. She said she also heard of an acquaintance who died by suicide this week. He was young, he had a girlfriend, he had his whole life ahead of him. Suicides are so rampant, but people don't talk about it enough. People are so afraid to speak up because they don't know what they are going to be met with. Alonso said in work settings there is generally more lenience with issues of psychological health than mental health. If you walk into work and you say your sugar is low, you're not well, that will be treated normally. But to say I cannot come in today, I need a mental health day, nobody takes it seriously. She said her dreams is to hear St. Anne's being referred to as a hospital and not a madhouse. The most rewarding part of being a founder of Yana, she said, is seeing how much the online community has helped many who were challenged by depression and thoughts of suicide. It was something I created for community to help me cope with depression, but to see it help so many others is far more rewarding. Administrative member of Yana, Stefan Stone, said as more articles are written and more conversations had about depression, the stigma lessens. I still hear a lot of people who go through this and their family tell them it is not an issue, you're just being lazy. Stone said people are not only afraid of how they will be viewed by their family and friends, but a major challenge is connected to how they will be perceived by people in professional spaces. People are afraid of the professional repercussions of speaking about these things. He said while the issue of mental health gains more attention, there is still great room for improvement as there needs to be greater institutionalized trust, more facilities, infrastructure, and practitioners in place at mental health facilities. Stone said the government does not invest enough resources and therefore mental health practitioners do not have sufficient infrastructural support to function in the most effective way. The trust to tackle mental health in Trinidad and Tobago, he said, is also slowed by a small number of psychiatric doctors, resulting in a pressured system. Yana is arranging to become a non-profit organization which would further strengthen its reach and impact. Alonso said the legal documents have been drafted, the name has been registered, and it is being registered as a non-profit. We are taking the steps to get there. Yana can be found on Facebook. Search for You Are Not Alone. You could do it on my page. Moses said tips for coping with the effects of depression include building a support network, practice blocking negative thoughts, implement healthy lifestyle changes such as getting enough sleep, and speaking with a mental health professional. People seeking help with mental health challenges can also call the Suicide Help Resources Lifeline, a 24-hour hotline at 688-8525 or 650-5270. Mental Health Unit at the Ministry of Health at 285-9126, extension 2577, 2571 or 2573 or 645-3532, extension 2542. Emergency Care Resources, St. Anne Psychiatric Hospital at 624-1151-5. San Fernando General Hospital, Ward 1, 652-3581, extension 3221. Celebrities and social media influencers who struggle with the illness have brought greater attention to depression as a real issue faced by many people. Modern technology and electronic media have made these stories easier to share, thus widening the reach exponentially when compared to times past. This allows people to form online support groups and have greater ease of access to information for identifying the symptoms of depression and of ways of coping with its effects. The World Health Organization says close to 800,000 people die due to suicide every year, which is one person every 40 seconds. Many more attempt suicide. Suicide occurs throughout the lifespan and is the second leading cause of death among 15 to 29-year-olds globally. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention says suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. Each year, 44,965 Americans die by suicide. But I'll tell you something. You could call it the 10th leading cause of death, but it's higher because things like nutrition and drug abuse, those two things, quality of life. The Progressive Empowerment Party, when we advocate to undo and redo the education system, we're talking about purpose building 200 schools, each of those schools capable of handling 1,000 children. We have 200,000 children in our primary and secondary school system. So if we build 200 schools, purpose built, that include counseling, that include a proper system of identifying through our GPA system. When we abolish the SEA, a lot of the depression and anxiety that we instill in our children at early ages of 9 and 10 will evaporate. Trinidad and Tobago, we try very hard to not see the hand of the failure of government because racist foolishness has been put into our minds as a justification for just about anything. But it's time that we made time for proper politics. A proper education system from the ground up that knits the community together. The Progressive Empowerment Party's education policy will make every school a prestige school, will zone all the schools, and your children will grow up from the age of 5 to 15 with their peers in their community and make lifelong friendships that they could build from. Families will have access to teachers, principals, administrators, counselors. At every term, we will administer a grade point average exam that will measure your child's performance this term, as opposed to their performance last term, and you could track on a graph where each child in the system is. So you will know if something is changing in a child's life because it will affect their performance in school. And you need to be able to identify changes early so that you can address them, right-size them, and give everybody a better chance at a proper life. All of this is a function of government. We have bullshit in this country like Mental Health Week. We fling a couple $100,000 as we partners in an advertising agency. Look McCann Erickson, look Lonsdale Sachi and Sachi, look Valdez and Torrey. Print some posters, run some bullshit ads. We'll bring in 3 people. They'll talk a crocus bag of ass for 3 hours in Hyatt. Everybody will eat some nice hors d'oeuvres, we'll clink some glasses, and then we'll go away. We need a proper medical public health system in this country that tracks and charts the performance of all our people. And issues like public health, mental health, we're supposed to know the critical issues that are killing our people. Diabetes, heart attack, hypertension, stroke, gunshot, accident, suicide. We need to know. You cannot fix a problem until you identify the problem. And the moment you identify the problem, your solutions must make sense. They must be easy to accomplish. The targets, measurables, and metrics must be easily identifiable so you can track. So it is not just a stunt in a newspaper. You know this. All of you who work, you have a job, those of you in school, you know that if you're trying to get from A to B, make sure that everything that you're doing takes you from A to B. None of this is rocket science. All of this is good governance. We could have a better Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight I had to read that long thing on mental health. When all I want to do is sell you barbecue tickets because the Progressive Empowerment Party needs funding. But we need to pay attention to the issues affecting our people, all of us. And we need to have this as the conversation. Ignore the bullshit. Ignore the roti politics and the rum politics and the bacchanal and the noise. Ignore the sycophants knuckle dragging and flinging feces. It is time to elevate the conversation. Elevate it away from the personal attacks. Elevate the conversation in our politics so that the politicians and the public office holders know we are not accepting bullshit anymore. Make time for your politics. Make time for your country. In that way, you would have made time for yourself and your loved ones to have a better life. It is easy. It is far too easy to blame others, to talk about who jamming still and who like it so and who don't have no belly. I could say that. I could say that today. I could blame every jackass who's ever told me any piece of jackassery. Or we could stay the course. We could have a vision of a better Trinidad and Tobago broken down line item by line item with facts, policies, plans that you know will work because the evidence exists. Success leaves clues all around the world. Trinidad and Tobago is not the only country that has these challenges or these problems. What we have is a lack of proper leadership from the ground up. And that is the easiest thing to change. You just have to want it. You, one person. All it takes is one person. One person to start a movement. That is all it takes. Be that person. Be that person in your home. Be that person in your family. Be that person in your job. Be that person in your online community. Ignore the bullying. Push the bullies aside. You don't have to take them on. You don't tolerate them. You're entitled to your political choices. You are entitled to your views at life. Don't negotiate that with anybody. Stand strong. Stand for a better Trinidad and Tobago. Stand for a better quality of life for you and your family. And you and I and we together would fix Trinidad and Tobago. This is TT dollars, 50 TT.
Stick your finger and put them on. Them unresistant. Put them out in Scarborough and in Port Spain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out in Camuto and in Laramie. Let's put our country together again.
Sorry, Margaret, I apologize. Citizens by right. None of we are worse. Yellow, black, or white. Food, shelter, and clothes. Free movement and speech. A grand grows. And one love for each. And the song that we're singing, when we say vote them out, we're voting out 57 years of incompetence. Vote out the PNM, vote out the UNC, vote out every criminally corrupt, racist, tribal failure, misbehavior, incompetent government we've ever had. Vote them all into the political dustbin. There is not one government we have ever had who has taken this country to where it needs to be. Not one empirical piece of data, not one critical indicator works, not one. The country is entirely broken, everything from the top down. We are a ruined, failed banana republic, narco state. We have open borders that allow $600 million worth of cocaine to reach Norfolk, Virginia. Come on, wake yourself up. Stop making excuses. Stop defending shithounds and charlatans. You deserve better. Want it for yourself. Want it for your loved ones.
If it is that injustice is what they always show.
When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is that avarice is all they seem to know. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out.
If it is their politics,
It's just a puppy show. When elections day come, all back to us. All 41. Empty the parliament. Fire from captain to cook. Kamala and Keith. The entire jackass farm. Fire all. Send them on the way. Let's put our country together again.
put them out of power.
Terminate the reign.
Let's put our country together again.
The UNC so corrupt, so stink and dirty, so nasty. The United National Congress is such a band of postulous whores that even this song they're trying to thief. They have nothing sacred. The UNC stink and dirty. Tell Kamala go and wash yourself and go in your bed. Listen, you have to have the belly to stand up for your country and stop making excuses. Stop choosing one side, two side, three side, four side. Stop playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo and seesaw politics, lesser evil nonsense. Forget that. Insist on service. Insist on a better country. You stand up. Stand up. Open your mind and speak up, speak out, stand firm. When they come to bully you, tell them, miss me with your bullshit. We have no interest in that. Let the excuse makers haul. It is time for a better country. The PNM and the UNC are two sides of the same cancerous, corrupt coin that the contract mafia is using to plunder this nation and impoverish you and your family. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, it is time to join the Progressive Empowerment Party, a political movement like this country has never seen, with a vision that will undo and redo Trinidad and Tobago. We will bring down the flag symbolically to August 31st, 1962 and start it back from there. We need a constitution that works, and we give you line item by line item where the solution to a better Trinidad and Tobago comes from. Right now, tonight, That's $50. $50 for a barbecue ticket. Look at the amount of effort and time that I give you, free of charge, out of love for you, myself, and my country. We want a better Trinidad and Tobago. If you like what you hear, buy a barbecue ticket. Buy 1, buy 5, buy 10, buy 20. It's $50 a ticket. It's good food. It's a good line this Saturday from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Come and hang out with the entire PEP family, or buy 50 tickets and donate it, because on the same day, we go and feed the homeless down in Port of Spain, in Chaguanas, and Nikwezi. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, right now on this thread, volunteer to buy 100 tickets, $50 for one. Message me, 682-2110. Those of you on the rerun, once you get the message, once you see the video and you're interested, message me, private message me on Facebook, write it on the thread and tag me. Message me, 682-2110. We need this money to operate this party. We don't have no contract mafia supporters, no finances, and we don't want none. Because when we get into office and it is time to undo and redo, when we encounter the charlatans and the bandits that rob this country, when it is time to bring them to justice, I don't want to hear, but boss, we give you money. Save that. Stick a pin in that. We prefer to fight hard and barbecue with chicken to pay ourselves forward. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, please, trust me. You don't need a crystal ball to know that after 2020, if you vote either the PNM or the UNC into office, the contract mafia is going to consolidate power in this country, and they will bring this nation to its knees. Trinidad and Tobago, a better country is ours to build. If you want it, vote Progressive Empowerment Party. Tomorrow night, at this time, 8 o'clock, I'll be here again with another live video, appealing to you for your assistance and your help as we grow forward and go forward to build an actual, factual country that the people of Trinidad and Tobago could be proud to stand up for, to stand up with. Those who not from here will lie and say there's Trini. You want a better Trinidad and Tobago, that our loved ones and our family that are far flung across the globe could come back home. Join the Progressive Empowerment Party. This week, we're 4 days away from our annual barbecue fundraiser. Please, if it is within you and your ability to assist, please help us. Those of you who just joined the video, it'll be available, the whole video will be available shortly. Watch it on the rerun, link up, join up, get involved. If you would like to be a part of the growing team, the Progressive Empowerment Party, if you would like to be involved at the constituency level, reach out to Shari Wilson or Michelle Davis, who are the party organizers. If you want to help us with finance, reach out to our chairman, Felicia Holder. She and her finance team handles that. If you would like to join the party, reach out to Sean Sunarine. He's on Facebook as Trini Mamu, and Debbie Lee Jaikaran. They handle our membership. Teresa Marquez, reach out to any of them. If you would like to be part of PEP Media, we have our own studio and we put out our own shows. If you're in any way involved in media and you would like to be a part of PEP Media, reach out to Satish Ramsaran, Baxter Cuthbert. That's the team that put that together. We have a real vibrant team. We have opened 5 offices in Trinidad and 1 in New York City, thanks to Denise Chalana and Chester Birchwood. Denise have a great job. It is our overseas chapters led in Toronto, led by the Synodans, in New York by Kezia and Chester and Chalana, in Florida led by Sals and Rose Fong Chong and the rest of the teams. We have international chapters that make it possible for us to do the things we do. This Saturday at 9 o'clock, we're actually having a barrel sale before the barbecue. So for those of you who were at the last barrel sale last week, because we had some barrels that came late, those of you who were at the barrel sale last week and everything sell out and got there late, come to PEP headquarters at 9 o'clock. There will be barrel items on sale this Saturday from 9 o'clock. Tell your friends, those of you who are interested, back to school and other things. I bought a set of tools. I mean, I get a 100-foot measuring tape for $50. Come on. Come on. Nice thing you could wind up. I get a 3-foot spirit level. They have a lot of good stuff. If you need stuff, come down to the barrel sale. It is put on by the overseas chapters, New York, Florida, Toronto, and it is chaired by Usha Debedine and her team. If you would like to be a part of the fastest growing political movement, the only real choice for a better Trinidad and Tobago that creates hope and opportunity for all, if you would like to be a part of something that could be of real difference to our country outside of the criminally corrupt contract mafia masquerading as a chamber of commerce and a manufacturers association, if you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, come and assist, come and help, come and join. Until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.